Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Geoguessr tips and tricks video. This one will be about the languages of Europe, and I'll be starting with the Nordic languages, so let's just get into it. Okay, so the Nordic languages are Denmark, Finnish, Swedish, Norwegian, and Icelandic. And I'll just be going over the differences and how to understand each one pretty much. So, immediately, Nordic languages usually have special A's, O's, and U's because they're part of the Germanic language family, which also includes like German and English. Although this start is not probably the best for Nordics because this is the one that's not Nordic at all. Well, it is Nordic, but it's not a Germanic language. Although having an ending of like GEN is normally like a Norway-Sweden thing, but having the ending of IE you see in Finland, and pretty much just Finland. And Finland has a lot of Swedish there, so this also makes sense. But yeah, if you see the ending of IE consistently, you're in Finland, like 100% guarantee. Okay, so next, we have this O with a little special thing to the side. That you only see in Iceland or the Faroe Islands. I mean, there's also other ways to figure out you're in Iceland, like the yellow bollards, but if you're just going off of language, yellow sign with this, you're in Iceland. So yeah, just send it in Iceland. Okay, next. Let me look at my notes. Okay, so we have the AE. The AE you see in Denmark, Norway, and Iceland, but it's not Icelandic, obviously. So we're either in Denmark or Norway. And we're gonna be in Norway. And a very niche thing about Norwegian versus Swedish is that Norway has a lot more E's than Swedish, and Swedish has a lot more A's than Norway. So that's kind of a bit of like a niche little thing. But yeah, we will be in Norway. The AE, and also there's nowhere in Denmark that would be this mountainous with fjords and such. Okay, next, we just pretty much have the base Nordic language. We got the double A's, well, we got the special A's, which Nordic thing, at least these types, at least with the two dots above, and that's pretty much all we have. But we do have a lot of A's. Every single word has an A pretty much. So we're gonna be in Sweden. And is there any more language around here? No. Probably not the best example of Swedish, but yeah, it's just the basic Nordic language pretty much. And then here, we have an EJ ending. If you're ending with EJ, you are 100% in Denmark. Okay, and last but not least, we have the AE again, so it means we're going to be in Denmark, Norway, or Iceland. And we have this little O thing again, so we're going to be in Iceland or the Faroe Islands. And they pretty much have the exact same language. So you just gotta know how to differentiate them. And they both got Gen 4 recently. But we don't see bollards, and this type of landscape you'd only see in the Faroe Islands. But this is a language video, so I'll get past this. Before we move on to the Germanic languages, I want to let y'all know that whenever I hit 500 subscribers on my channel, I will do one of these videos, the Geoguessr tips and tricks video, but over the entire world and with facts that I haven't stated on my channel. Let's hit that goal and let's get to 500. Now back to the video. Okay, next we are going to be going to the Germanic languages. This includes German, Dutch, Luxembourgish, English, and I'm adding Irish on here, but Irish is not a Germanic language. So starting with probably the simplest one, this letter right here. I don't speak this language, so I don't know what it's actually called, but you only see that in German. So German you see in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, sometimes in Luxembourg and Eastern Belgium. Mainly Germany, Austria, Switzerland. So then you just gotta find other clues to see which one's which, like how we don't have red on this plate, so we're gonna be in Germany. Okay, next. Don't mind the domain. Double vowels. I associate this country with double vowels, aka the Netherlands, the Dutch language. Yeah, double vowels all the way. And another little minor thing is that Dutch has some specific letter combinations that are used a lot. And I wish there were some on here, but I don't see them. I, J, IEU, and OE is used a lot in Dutch. And of course, they like their double vowels. So we're going to be the Netherlands. Okay, next. We have English. We have English. So you're going to be in the United Kingdom or Ireland. And then we have a language that's not English, so probably Ireland. Although, you can also be in Wales or Scotland, because sometimes those don't have English. But I'm not going into those languages. Also, St. Patrick's is just, you gotta think of Ireland. And without yellow plates, you're gonna be in Ireland. Okay, we just have English. Pure English. Let's go to the United Kingdom. Mainly in England. Okay, last but not least, we have the last language. So this language, Luxembourgish, is very German based. It's practically the German language, but without that special character. And you have accent ease more. I can't find one here, but yeah. It looks very German, but you just know German character. So, Luxembourg. Next we're moving to the Romance language. Okay, so the Romance languages are Portuguese, Spanish, French, Italian, and Romanian. Also, as a side note, countries like Andorra, Monaco, and San Marino, and even Liechtenstein, their languages are pretty much the exact same as the countries that border them. Andorra, Catalan, which is pretty much Spanish that's up here, and some Spanish and French. Monaco is French, San Marino pretty much Italian, and Liechtenstein pretty much German, so just wanted to let y'all know. Okay, so this first language. So the Romance languages, how do I phrase this? They aren't as keen with vowels as the Germanic languages. They have a lot more special, like, their special characters are consonants. But there's not too many consonants. And also you'll see a lot of lowercase everything. So this is most likely going to be Italian, from what I can tell. If it's not Italian, then I'll just redo this. So Italian has a lot of I's, and we see quite a bit of I's, like almost every single word possible. And Italian uses double consonants a lot, which I don't actually see any. I know there's a double F, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so that's Italian for you. There's probably some more on that, so yeah, just go Italy. Okay, next language. This one is going to be Portuguese. If you're seeing the ending of AO, mainly CAO, you will be in a Portuguese country. So Portugal, Brazil, or Sao Tome. And other than that, it's pretty much the exact same as Spanish. Although you have a special C, which is right here with the line, with the little dash underneath, which you don't see in Spanish. But you do see in Portuguese, so you were in Portugal. Okay, this is Spanish. Spanish is like the base language, because most of my audiences are Americans, so if you see a language like this, your first thought would be Spanish, so I don't really gotta explain it too much. Also, I don't know how to explain it, because I'm also American, I'm like that. But yeah, it's just Spanish, and the thing about Spanish that separates it from Portuguese is that they have a special N with a little line above it. And let me see if I can see one. I don't see one. But I guess Spanish has a lot of C's a decent bit. Uh, they like ending with a NES, LA, LLA, LIA. All of these endings are very common in Spanish, is what I'm pretty much trying to say. Okay, and here we have what looks to be Romanian, but I'm not 100% certain yet. So, Romanian is the most unique of all of the Romance languages because it's very different. It doesn't look like any of the others, maybe Italian, but it doesn't use like a common vowel or vowel because, I mean, they have the special A, have special I's, maybe. I don't know about the I's, but all of these have special A's. That's just a romance, man. I mean, this is a romance thing with like a line above. But right here, we have a special T. And the only country in Romance languages that use special consonants pretty much, besides for the N and the C, is Romania. Because Romania has a unique S and a unique T compared to the other Romance languages. And to compare it to like Hungarian and Bulgarian, we'll get to that. Okay, and last but not least, we have French. And French is also very unique. So, French has the UX suffix a lot. Like, a lot. That's a good start. And I don't know how to describe it, but you just see like OU, UI, it's just very French. I guess OE is also a French thing, but that's not on my notes. But yeah. Also, French likes to have a lot of accents. Every single vowel has accents, maybe even a few different types. So like here's an E with a line, E with a little thing. There's like 3 different E's here. Is there another vowel with something? It's just a ton of E's, but yeah, French does like their E's to be fair. And then the main thing I use to figure out French is if you find R-U-E, rue, because that means street in French. So that's a easy way to figure out you're in a French country. Moving on to Cyrillic languages, apart from Montenegro, and the Baltic languages. Okay, so we don't have Cyrillic, which we'll get to Cyrillic. We have the Latin alphabet. So that means we are not in Russia, not in Ukraine, not in Bulgaria. We could be Macedonia, could be in Serbia, could be Montenegro, or the Baltic countries. But like I said, this map does have Montenegro, so just keep that in mind. And everything doesn't have Cyrillic, so we're going to most likely be in the Baltics. The Baltic languages are very similar, apart from Estonian, because Estonian is not a Baltic language, it's a Finnish language. So, okay, so Estonian, like I said, very similar to Finnish. You got you got O's, E's, and U's like these languages here. And of course, Finland, while Latvia and Lithuania don't have. Estonia is pretty much Finnish without the IE ending. And instead of the Finnish ending that I talked about, the IE, Estonia uses TEE for their endings or just for street, which is good information for Estonia. But yeah, Estonia, you won't see very many accents. You won't see anything that's not on an O, A, or a U. So if you see like a G or something, and it looks Baltic, like maybe you have the Baltic side road things, then you're gonna be in Estonia because it doesn't have it. And it's not a Baltic language. Kind of hard to explain. Okay, so again, we don't have Cyrillic, so we're gonna be in the Baltics. And we immediately see that we have an S, so it's not gonna be Estonian, so it's between Latvia and Lithuania. So both of these countries, they like hooks on their words, either mainly below. So like in Latvian, you have hooks under consonants, but in Lithuania, you have hooks under vowels. But also in Lithuania, and it's the only country that has this, an E with just a single dot above. That means you are in Lithuania. It might be hard to see from like a distance, like here, but that is just in Lithuania. Let me see if I can see any other good information. Do I see a hook at all? Okay, yeah, there's a U with a hook underneath. And if it was Latvia, you'd see a consonant with a hook underneath. So it's gonna be Lithuania. Well, what are the odds? We get all 3 Baltic countries in a row. Did I mess up with this? There's no language here. Oh no, there is a language. Okay. So, Latvia. I said earlier that they have vowels with hooks underneath. We don't see that here. We don't see almost any language apart from this. But also in Latvia, you have vowels A, E, and I with lines above, which is pretty much only a Latvian thing. So if you see that, you are in Latvia. Okay, now we're into Cyrillic. So in Europe, there's 3 different scripts. There's the Latin script, the Cyrillic script, and the Greek script. And Cyrillic and Greek could be confused with sometimes, but Greek you would never have a Latin transformation, pretty much. And you would see like omega sign and stuff. So we're in Cyrillic country, which are Russia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, and then North Macedonia, Serbia, Montenegro some of the time. But since we have a Latin translation, we will be in Montenegro, Serbia, or North Macedonia. Montenegro, or the language in Montenegro, is not its own language. It's a mix of Croatian, Serbian, and Albanian. And this is also not what that language is. So we are in North Macedonia, or Serbia. So North Macedonia, they have unique H that kind of looks like a B, J that kind of has like a B and like the double I's, and they have their own special T and special K. And Serbia, they have the HB little thing, which I'll probably show on screen, and they have a special H that North Macedonia does not have. So this is probably going to be Serbia. And we have Cyrillic again. And we have the B, capital I/L. That means you are in Russia. That in itself is Russian. Okay, so we have Cyrillic again. Which means we were in one of those countries I said earlier. I mean, we could try looking for a Latin translation. We could try looking for a Latin translation. That's not like a company or like hotel, which is worldwide. And if we do have that, cafe also counts as not, then we'd be in Serbia, North Mass, or Montenegro. But we can leave Bulgaria as an option, then we can just look to see if we have a Bulgarian unique letter. Which in Bulgarian, you mainly have this B with a little line to the left of it. And you can rarely see that in Russian, but that is pretty much just a Bulgarian thing. Back with the Cyrillic. So we don't see immediately like a Russian BL, so we try to find a Latin translation. And I mean, this kind of is a Latin translation. there is Latin by here. So I mean Serbia, Serbia, North Macedonia, and Montenegro. Montenegro we see rifts in the sky, but I say that in a different video. In North Macedonia, you see special T and a special K. And what is this? A K with a little thing above, which Serbia does not have. I wonder which one it can be then. Okay, so it looks like Russia, except we have just an I. When you see an I, not with anything else, you are in Ukraine. Okay, now I'm just gonna go over the rest of the European languages with this one. So, the rest of the European languages, from Poland down to Greece, they have a lot of unique letters that are just consonants and a ton of them. This is not the best piece of information, but the little accent above letters, like the vowels, yeah, it's just above vowels. If they're usually going to be acute to the actual vowels in acute angle, that's the Czechoslovakian thing. So then how do you differentiate them? Because they are pretty much the exact same language. Czech has a UU unique R, U, and E, and Slovakia has two unique L's and a unique O, A, and R. But we don't have any of that here. So then how would we figure it out? Just with language, we narrowed it down to two countries. So then I would look for like a license plate usually. And since we have red here, we will be in Slovakia. Okay, that's very close up. Okay, so this, we don't see the thing that I just talked about. And, well, it doesn't really look like Czechoslovakia anyways. The landscape just doesn't, it looks very Mediterranean. So we'll just start there. And the thing with this language that is not unique. This language is pretty much based off of other languages. And we can maybe see some Cyrillic around. Because this is, yeah, we have Cyrillic right here. We have some Cyrillic, and then a Latin translation. That is not like any of the others, so we will be in Montenegro. Okay. We have the double acute accent. That means you are in Hungary. Okay, so I don't really need to talk about this one. But this is Polish. Polish is a very distinct language, and it's not that distinct. It has some of the weirdest sounding names, and it's very identifiable. The first thing is that they have a lot of C and Ks and a lot of Zs. If you see a Z, honestly, I usually immediately think of Poland when you see just a Z in general. We have a Z here, we have a Z there, a Z here, a Z here, and then we have two Cs, and then a K here. But also, Poland does not have a V. There's no V in the alphabet. They have W to replace it. Czech, Slovak, Hungarian all have a V, so we are in Poland. Okay, so this one is a very unique country. We have English right here, but then we don't have English, and it looks more Romance in a way, maybe with the sand in front. English with a different language. You think of the United Kingdom or Ireland. But at the same time, there's also Malta, which is an option. And Malta is very distinct from those two. Mainly from the plates, and of course, like, you would see the name Valletta around, which is the capital of Malta. But yeah, English with this language that's more romance-based, you will be in Malta. But this is one of two languages in main Europe that are not close to a single other language. This is Albanian. And I don't have much for Albania, because usually you can tell by the plate alone and the landscape. But yeah, pretty much it's Montenegro without Latin and without Croatian Serbian influence. Albania has a special E and a special C that's not unique to any other country. And RRG means street in Albanian. So if you see that, you go Albania. But Albania is not really a language country. Okay, so now we are in Croatia. And Croatian is very similar to both Serbia and Slovene. Croatia and Slovene are similar, like I just said. And usually they both have words kind of similar to the Slovenian capital, like the LJ and the JA and stuff. I might be able to actually see that. But they have a lot of J's. And Croatia in particular has a certain three letters that is used quite a lot, which is IJE, or just JE. So if you see IJE, or just JE, you can mean Croatia, or like Montenegro, and we see an IJE right here. And the other thing I'll say is that Croatian has a unique D with a line on the left of it. I'll put it on the screen most likely. And Croatian has a different C and D to Slovenian. And speaking of Slovenian, Slovenian has a special C, S, and Z of their own. And let me see if I can get something. Okay, well, we have Ljubljana right here, which is the capital. But yeah, Slovenia likes to use J's a lot, mainly LJ put together. And here we have a special Z, which is a Slovenian Z. There's a special S and a special C. There's all three of them. And here we have what's almost a capital, but not actually. They're capital in terms of words. But also Slovenian is very alpine, and you don't really need it for language unless you have a 50-50 with a bollard with Austria. Okay, so back to this. We have the acute angle above the vowels. So we were in Czechia or Slovakia. So how do you distinguish the two? The answer is you really don't. Like I said earlier, Czechia has a unique R, U, and E. To Slovakia, and Slovakia has two L's, an O, an A, and an R. So pretty much you gotta go based off of the plates, is what I do most of the time. And since there's not red here, we're gonna be in Czechia. And you can also tell by the bollards, but that's not as reliable. I mean, I guess we have a special E here that Slovakia might not have with the V above it, but it might have that. I'm not certain. Okay, and here's the last language, which is Greek, which is the third script in Europe. And you can see this and the omega. It's just, you have this N, which is in both this and Cyrillic. Greek is very easy to identify. Oh, here we have the word alpha, which is also in Greek. Yeah, this little triangle, the omega sign, just super duper Greek. And that'll be the end of the video. Hope y'all learned something, and let's get to that 500 subscriber milestone. So, see y'all later.